Welcome to Mining Indaba 2025, and joining me today is Dave Walker, Global Head of Mining at SLR Consulting. Dave, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me along. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. So Dave, for our audience, give us an overview of the company and how does it support the mining industry?
Joe, very simple question. Okay, so as a business, we've been around for now 31 years. So founded in 1994. Founded originally in the UK and then grown sort of exponentially from there on out. Since at least 2011, we've been working in the mining industry extensively. And in particular in 2011, I mentioned that date just because that's when we formally set ourselves up at an African context. We acquired a business in South Africa, providing engineering and environmental services to the mining industry locally and sort of more regionally as well.
Okay. Now, your expertise spans across multiple disciplines. Can you share examples of how your integrated services have helped African mining operations overcome key challenges, be it in exploration, development, or even closure?
Again, easy enough to do, but it's a bit of a longer answer for you. So, yeah, as part of that growth journey that we've been on, being a company of now, 4,500 people, give or take, having literally 45 plus different technical disciplines, also working across multiple sectors, of which mining is one of the key elements thereof. The challenge that you have, or we have, and I suppose many others too, but the challenge that we have is to say, how do we make that and turn that into something which is relevant and understandable to our audience being the mining industry, the mining sector. So what we've done is we've effectively taken those different technical disciplines, we've bundled together as solutions or services that we offer, bundle services, let's just call it that for simplicity. And each one of those really speaks to a different part of the industry as a sector. The industry is a sort of a life cycle, so exploration through project development, operation, renewals, financing, and all the way through to closure. And how it fundamentally works and how the model works so well for us. And I'll just pick one example. We do a suite of services that we loosely term our mining advisory services. What that really does is it takes the disciplines of resource geology, mining engineering, metallurgy primarily, to assist in sort of project definitions, resource development, and project financing. And what that does is that it also brings into play other technical elements. Like mine waste and tailings, like our environmental and sustainability services, like our sort of mine water services, they all play a part in defining what that resource is about and how it can be developed responsibly or financed or whatever. I think the second key element to all our sort of service bundles, and you're welcome to go look at our website to spell them out in a bit more detail for you, is that there is both an advisory element to it as well as a technical element. And by advisory, it means it's answering key questions at a C-suite level, in the boardroom. Is this project worthwhile? What risks does it carry for us? How do we raise financing for it? How do we report it to the stock exchanges? All those types of questions, all the way through to the guy who's going to build the thing and run it on the ground, and then it becomes technical issues, technical challenges, and sort of an operational or a grassroots stuff.
Okay. Now, Dave, as you know, the African mining sector faces its own unique challenges, when it comes to sustainability, the environment, to social responsibility, as well as technical hurdles. So how is SLR helping mining companies in Africa to navigate these complexities successfully?
Well, I think there's probably two aspects you're going to look at. I think there's a number of things which are not unique to Africa at all, and that's things around the big questions of security of supply, depleting resources, the cost of capital, the ESG sustainability issues that we have, the parts of those which are unique to Africa are probably 3 or 4 folds. I think the one is around the elements of geopolitics and the geopolitics that plays on the African continent. I think a second theme is around the sustainability and, call it, I mean, it's kind of cliched a little bit, but it's the stuff around the social license to operate, and the water stewardship challenges and the extreme challenges that exist as a result of climate change. And America or any country in Europe has the means to understand these in a very real way and sort of set policies. Africa lacks that capacity and ability to be able to do that. And all of those are issues that we understand and could advise our clients directly on how to tackle those challenges.
Now, Dave, as you know, there's a lot of focus on ESG expectations in Africa. How is your company assisting mining companies to stay compliant, but at the same time also remain productive?
Okay, I think there's a few ways in which we do that. So the one is more for that range of technical services that I alluded to earlier on in our conversation. That's a key and the sort of the foundation of it all. I think the second and really important thing is that we have a passion, and it's embedded in what we do. So we have a passion for the things that we do, a passion for making a difference to society, the world we live in, the communities we touch, and in so doing, we engender those in the solutions and the services that we do. And I think the third key element that comes into play is that we do things in a manner which is kind of struggling for a good term, but probably the easiest one and simplest one is to say local touch with a global reach. In other words, having that sort of local point of contact, having that local presence, that local understanding of, and as well as the sort of global expertise that we have, and we deliberately structure ourselves to be able to deliver in that sense, is that we're able to offer nuanced and unique solutions for every single project. Because an iron ore mine in Angola will have different challenges to an iron ore mine in Zimbabwe. Any sort of example you want to think of?
Absolutely. Now, finally, Dave, looking at the future of mining, not just in Africa, but globally, what are the trends or challenges that you see shaping the industry, and how are you positioning yourself to support sustainable growth in the region?
I think that's a $64 million question, isn't it? So I think one of the key challenges lies around geopolitics.
Yes.
And the role that plays. I think the role that it plays in Africa in particular is challenging, because we have a whole lot of competing nations and competing entities looking for security of supply in their own right. I think the second suite of challenges, which is really starting to shape and coming into play now, is a question of big data.
Yes.
And it's not just big data, but it goes hand in hand with AI. So the big data piece of it has an element of material supply to it, because you've got big data centers, the demand that they put on energy, the demand that it puts on materials to actually supply them. But then there's artificial intelligence piece of AI, which is how do you interrogate this big data that you've now stored?
Yeah.
It's like you've got this big box of toys. What do we do with it? How do we play with it? How do we make it make sense? And I think AI is one of the ways in which that can happen. We can go back and interrogate vast databases of sometimes knowledge bases of information that dates back 100 years. How do we relook at that and better and more sustainably exploit or mine in a sustainable way those resources that exist? And there's probably a few other things to do besides, but I think those are probably the key ones.
Well, great. Well, Dave, thank you very much for your insights, and thank you for joining us on Mining Review Africa today.
You're welcome.